Links to that in the description. He's also filmed Timmy Bolduc on some hunts, and Lee Shanz from the Big Woods Bucks crew as well on his moose hunt. He's a gifted filmer, dedicated hunter, getting better at it every single year, and following Timmy Bolduc and Lee Shanz around. I'm sure that's got a lot to do with it, but he's got a lot of great knowledge to tell you, and we will just get right into it. Here is Jason Alex. All right, we got another episode of Hunt Suburbia podcast, and I'm sitting here with Jason Alex. We just cracked a couple of Citizen Ciders.
Yes, sir.
Drove down earlier today, and we're going to hunt tomorrow a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to get out, but put you in a spot down here and see if we can get you a deer.
Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited to hunt your neck of the woods.
But so you've had a weird season this year, right?
Yeah, I've had trials and tribulations, I guess. I was good right off the bat. Started out in New Hampshire. Season opens on the 15th. My birthday's on the 16th, and I got an arrow into a doe on my birthday. I've been trying to do that for years. But it was a ground hunt, and she was kind of quartering away, and I kind of rushed it. I should have let her take a couple more steps, and I hit her in the shoulder, but quartering away, a shoulder shot. She ended up living. I got her on my cell cam. Big hole in her side, but she's doing good. And then I was in deer, seeing a weird amount of like bobcats and stuff like that, like which I don't normally see. I've seen 4 bobcat kittens. Never seen a bobcat kitten in my life. I actually had one instance.
I've seen lots of bobcats this year too. Actually.
Yeah, I was going to tell you about this earlier. I was scouting, and I was walking around the backside of the swamp, just kind of poking along. I had my bow at my side, no arrow knocked, and I come up over this little rise, and there's a stone wall, and I thought it was a raccoon or something at first, and so I'm looking, and I see it's 2 bobcat kittens.
Yep.
And they're all alone, and I'm standing there, and my hair just stood up on the back of my neck, like, oh, where's mom? You know what I mean? I'm close to them.
Yeah.
And so I just backed out. I went the way I came. I just walked out of there.
You afraid of a bobcat, bro? Come on.
I don't feel like it'd kill me.
Yeah.
But it messed me up pretty good.
So I had a freaking 11-pound cat that was a Bengal cat. And so he's got, he's like 5 generations away from a wild Asian leopard cat. So he's like, I don't know, something like 12.5% wild.
Did you find that on Google?
Yeah. Yeah, I Googled it, and it's, dude, he's, like, Bengal cats they're bred 5 generations away, and depending on what state you're in,
really, it's
legal or illegal to have a certain generation. In Massachusetts, it has to be it has to be, they call them, what is it, G5 or A5 or something type Bengal. Like, an A1 is, like, wild Asian leopard cat. Level 2 is his grandfather was a wild Asian leopard cat, and mine is 5 generations away, but he still had that wildness in him.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, he was an awesome cat. He died this summer, but he was an awesome cat, and he was only 11 pounds, and he would fuck me up sometimes, dude.
That's a heavy cat.
That's a heavy cat, but then I'm just trying to tie it back to a bobcat. A bobcat definitely could kill you.
I feel like I could take one in the heat of the moment, unless you got my jugular right off.
Yep.
But because I'm not going down like that. Bobcat's not taking me out.
Yeah.
But I was scared, because I'm like looking up, looking in the trees.
Yep.
But yeah, and then I had a couple bear encounters, but
not seeing many deer.
I went like a month straight. No, I'm not jumping them on the way in, and my cameras are telling me they're there.
Yep.
I'm just like one step behind them. Like I had one instance where, you know how you're driving down the road and you're kind of like, which spot? So I settled on a spot. The wind was good for 2 spots, so I settled on one. And there was a car accident. Road was closed. So I'm like, well, that settles it. I'm going to the other spot. Yep. Go to the other spot, hunt, nothing. It was like a week or 2 later. I went in other said spot, checked the camera, and that morning, a nice 8 walked by.
Yeah, of course.
And it was a good win for it, so... But it's just stuff like that. But I've just, I don't know, grinding it out, dark to dark. I don't come out of the woods. I go in with my lunch. I'm in there for the day. I might not stay in one spot, but...
Yeah, sometimes you just need a reset, you know? You never hunted down in this neck of the woods either, and, maybe...
I've never killed a deer in Massachusetts.
Maybe it'll be lucky, because sometimes I put guys in a spot, and it's like luck. It's definitely not skill. I mean, I've scouted areas, but... I've got luck with giving guys like a first look at a spot, and then they get something. So hopefully, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Dude, check that out. That is an Asian leopard cat. So that was my cats.
What?
And they're small, but they're wild.
See, I was thinking the fat, like, Garfield ones.
No. These are...
That's crazy.
They're mini leopards in some part, I think, Indonesia. And the Bengal cat, I'll show you what my cat looked like.
It does look like a little leopard.
Yep. Oh, and he had all the beautiful spots, my cat. And,
yeah.
And we'd let him out here, and he killed stuff all the time. He was a great hunter. But
do you think he was
looked
on
just like
something's
that.
tail, and that's why he got had? Like, just about to close the deal?
Probably, yeah, because he had just been...
Laser focused.
He'd been super sick for 3 weeks. We thought he was going to die. He lost half his body weight. We couldn't figure out what it was, and we were going to put him down. It was really bad. He was very sick, and none of the vets could figure it out. And so at the last minute, like last resort, we were like, can you give us just give us an antibiotic that, is a general one that you think, whatever, it's a last resort, we're going to put him down next week. Because he just was sleeping all day. He couldn't walk up the stairs anymore, lost all of his strength. And they gave him an antibiotic, and that worked. The next morning, he was starting to act like himself again. He ate for the first time. He was, meowing. He actually walked up the stairs and woke us up like he used to do all the time and shit. Like, Bengal cats are super unique. They're like dogs, and they would follow you everywhere. We used to go on walks with him through the woods. And
that's crazy.
He would just follow us through the woods and go on walks, and he just was really cool. But... because he had that wild in him, you would have to watch your back in the house. Like, he would hunt you sometimes. And
just practice.
He would just be creeping up behind you, and when you'd have to be like, get on your A game. Be like, nope. Diesel, no. And you'd have to know his cues and shit, because he would just go into hunt mode, and sometimes he would jump up on you and latch onto your leg, and next thing you know, you got that feeling of like wet blood inside your jeans that feels cold. And you're like, fuck, he would really latch on, and you'd like take your pants off, and there'd just be blood coming down like all over the place on
That's
your leg.
intense.
Like, oh yeah. So he was a little dickhead sometimes, but he was really cool, an awesome cat. But yeah, he was super sick.
How old was he?
He was 6 years old. He was just getting into like his prime.
Did they have like a crazy life expectancy or?
No, it's just like a normal 15-year, for a cat, whatever. But that antibiotic ended up being a tick. He had some tick-borne illness. I forget what it was. It wasn't live,
bastards.
but it was a tick-borne illness, and the antibiotic worked. Took about 2 or 3 weeks for us to get him back kind of eating again and putting a little bit of weight on. And as soon as he felt good, he was at the door meowing again to go outside, because he had just started hunting and learning to hunt really well here, because he was a city cat for a while, And we let him out, and that very first day we let him out, I'm sure he was hunting and chasing a squirrel, and he just ran across the road and got hit. Yeah. But he's it was cool. We wouldn't get another Bengal just because they are.
That's intense.
It's an intense experience, but it was really cool to have for a few years. But you'd have to watch your back. So a friggin' bobcat that's double his size or triple.
Oh, it
a big one could be triple. Yeah, for sure.
I'm telling you, I ain't getting taken out by one. No.
I always you ever have those fantasies when you're walking through the woods, and I think when I was a kid, you'd think like, you'd be a little scared of coyotes, but now I don't. Coyotes never gonna fucking attack you. No. But I'd always think if they did, I had my knife, my buck knife on the side, and I would stab it to death and, drag it back to deer camp and open the door and throw it in on the camp floor and tell the story and be like, holy shit, he just stabbed that coyote to death that was attacking him.
Insert Kevin Costner quote here.
Yeah.
So. No, my knife's in my pack. I'd probably lose that fight. But again, I'm telling you,
well, now that
if I got him by the head, I'm not letting go.
Now that you're using fixed blade broadheads, it's kind of like a knife. You could take that.
Rip one out of the quiver, jab him.
Yep. But
little Magnus 125 grain.
While we're talking about cats, I was with Pat Burns yesterday, and we were we're looking at a farm for hunt stock.
Hunt stock
idea that we're thinking about here, and that we're probably going to make major announcement. So actually, this podcast will probably be out in 2 weeks, and it will probably already be announced. But all right, guys, Hunt Stock is live. We've got dates, we've got a venue, we've got a show planned that is going to be awesome. Hunt Stock 2022, August 12th, 13th, and 14th and it's taking place at Wildwood Farm in Westminster, Massachusetts. The farm owner was a podcast listener. He hit me up. I went and checked out the venue, and it is perfect. It's beautiful. It's going to be an awesome summer day. We're going to get as many hunters in the Northeast together as we can to share in camaraderie and just celebrate the culture of hunting that we have in the Northeast, which I think is some of the richest hunting culture in the entire country. So we've got a lot planned for it. We've got a big sponsor and exhibitor village. We've already got 10 to 12 exhibitors confirmed to come out, and it's going to get bigger. We've got enough space in the Maine festival area for 70 exhibitors. I'm going to try to fill that up, and then we'll have an overflow lot for more exhibitors as well. I mean, I think it's not out of the question to get 100 exhibitors to this thing. Big brands, Northeastern brands, outfitters, taxidermists, conservation groups. We're going to have a little bit of everything. We have a main stage inside the horse barn that we're going to build that will have seminars and live podcasts happening every single hour the event is open, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're still looking to fill some of those seminar time slots, but there's going to be a lot of really big names coming to this thing. There's some that we're working on that, would be coming from even out west in the Midwest, potentially. So I'm going to work really hard on this thing over the next 9 months until event day. This is something I've been waiting to do for a long time, and I just can't wait for event day. And I want everybody to be a part of it who can. Get your tickets early. There's an early bird special price up now on event day. The prices will be different. Prices will go up sometime in April. So get in there early. We're going to cap it at 2,000 people per day. If we can get there, that'll be amazing. In year 2, we'll expand upon it. But there's going to be nothing like the first annual Hunt Stock event. We have Northeast Big Buck Club coming to set up a awesome trophy room that will display some of the biggest bucks ever killed in the Northeast. Pat Burns will unveil the electric buck there. I've got a couple other guys who killed some giants last year who can do their public unveiling of their bucks at Huntstock. We're going to have a really badass 3D archery course that'll have some alpine in it, some northeastern woods scenarios, and then some long distance field shots. We walked what is going to be the course, and it couldn't be more perfect for a really awesome 3D archery course. So be on the lookout for that. And, other than that, it's just going to be a great time where hunters get to share in their camaraderie, talk about hunting, tell stories with each other, network. I want to do a gear swap as well, bring some old gear that you want to get rid of and that another hunter might be able to use. We'll have a whole section where people can just pick up free stuff, drop it off if you don't want it, and if you're walking through and you see something that you need, pick it up. Old cameras, I'm going to bring some trail cams, and I encourage anybody else, you got some laying around that still work, bring those. So we wanted to benefit everybody and just be a great experience unlike anybody has ever seen in the Northeast. Like I said, there's some great events up here in the Northeast, but I'm just thinking large, and I want to throw the biggest, baddest, best event there ever was. I'm putting everything I got behind it. Hunt Stock's going to be badass. Make sure to get on and get your tickets, support the podcast. We'll have some charities that will be there, and you can support the charities. And we're going to do a lot of things for some great causes. So thanks again, everybody, for your support. We'll see you at Hunt Stock in 2022. Pat's going to help with video and website and stuff for it.
Attend that.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be really cool. But we're up there, and we're talking to those farmers, and Pat reminded me, just in the conversation, came up, that he got a picture of a mountain lion in Massachusetts, and Jesus, that's the one thing that you definitely got to be scared of in the woods.
Yeah. I'd like to say again, that's not taking me out, but that one might take me down.
A mountain lion, I don't think you really have much of a choice, unless you got a gun. And
DFA, death from above.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's their game.
But he showed those pictures. I mean, it's undeniably, we were talking about it earlier, you got people in Vermont all the time, and New Hampshire, whatever, who say, "Oh, we've seen the mountain lion," and everybody always calls BS on it. And where are the pictures? And if a picture comes up, it's like a bobcat, or it could be a lynx or something, and it's just not a mountain lion. This is a mountain lion. It's unmistakable, and he had pictures of the footprint and shit. I hope Pat doesn't mind me talking about it, because at first he was like he didn't want a lot of attention.
Edit this part out.
Yeah, I might have to edit that.
How many years ago was the picture?
It was 5 years ago, 2016.
Oh yeah, you said that. That's in the past.
So who knows? It could still be there, but if he had never got another picture of it, he's run so many cameras. It probably was just one of those roamers.
Yeah, well they'll roam like half the country. They have like 300-mile like territories. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Even more than that, because Jason Zimmer.
I just threw a number out. It could be 600. I don't know.
Jason Zimmer, who was on here last year, was telling a story about the one that was found in Connecticut as a roadkill, side of the road, and they figured out that one came from South Dakota. I mean, that bobcat, that mountain lion roamed all the way from South Dakota and was killed in Connecticut. So, it can happen, right?
There was one hit on the highway on Interstate 91. I want to say it was around like Springfield exit.
In Vermont?
Yeah, like 3 or 4 summers ago.
Really?
Yeah.
There was a mountain lion hit there?
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
A buddy of mine, his father used to drive for Full Flex, I think is the company, but he saw it, and then like 2 other people saw it, and it was quickly. They got it off the road quick. But he said there was no mistaking it. It was.
Yeah,
a
I never heard about that. Wow. Yeah. I guess they do roam.
But look at
through Vermont.
UVM. They're the catamounts.
Yeah. Well, Vermont had a big population of mountain lions.
I think they're
back
still
in the
around.
Day. Yeah, they could be. So, what's your theory? You think is it Glastonbury? You said. Yeah,
there's a bunch of. You can Google it. Glastonbury Wilderness disappearances.
And this is in Vermont, right?
Yep.
Green Mountain National Forest.
Southern Vermont, Woodford, Searsburg area. That's my theory.
They're all getting picked off by mountain lions in there.
But you'd think you'd find a shoe or a T-shirt or something. But it's big woods. Who knows?
You ever think about maybe it's aliens?
It could be. I do believe. I've watched enough Joe Rogan. I do believe.
I believe.
There's no way we're it.
So
anyway, deer.
Talk about deer. You went out with Timmy a couple times, right? Or once? Or how many times you been out?
We went out 3 days. No, 2 days, 2 or 3.
Yeah, I guess we should do.
The snow's been been iffy up there.
Spotty.
Yeah, it's up there. It's just not really where he wants to be. Timmy's like the Dan Infalt of buck tracking. He's kind of just.
Big Trump supporter.
No,
he is, but
yes, but yeah. He's hiding in plain sight.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say.
He likes to outcompete other guys.
No, just he's got really specific spots that are producers.
Yeah,
I've seen the trail camera pictures.
Yep.
There's some hammers in there, and just it's not at that elevation where the snow was. And we've been on it a little bit, and then. And then he's just he doesn't want to get in the whole you hear big woods bucks guys talk about the combat hunting in Rangeley. Well, Rangeley's had a bunch of snow this year. Mm-hmm. He just don't want to go up and deal with the riffraff.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of day trips. It might snow, and we'll go up, and it doesn't. But
yeah. So for those
he knows what he wants.
Yep. For those that don't know, though, I just want to give the intro to Jason, Alex. You got your own podcast. We're going to do one after this. What's it called again?
Northeast Hunt and Film.
Northeast Hunt and Film. YouTube page as well. Northeast Hunt and Film. Right.
Yep. Instagram Northeast Hunt Film.
Yep.
No ampersand.
And he's a really good videographer. And you followed Timmy and you were his cameraman for that video he put out last year. The year before.
2019. Yep.
What is it called again? 11,
15, 19.
11, 15, 19 on the Big Woods Bucks page. So go follow him on all the socials. You subscribe on YouTube. He's got a pretty new podcast. How many episodes have you done now?
8 will be coming out Monday.
Number 8, and you're doing them every 2 weeks, right?
Bi-weekly, yep.
Yep.
For now.
Yep.
So. I just didn't want to get over my head. Because I started it opening day of deer season.
Yeah.
Turns out that just added to something else I got to do with editing and
I know it, dude.
And all that. But Yeah,
That's
and
right. Get
I
into the zone of just like trying to book back to back to back podcasts sometimes.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I did right off the rip. I got like 5.
Yep.
And then
Stack them up and.
Yep. And I filmed Lee Shanz moose hunt.
Oh, you did that
last
one
year.
too.
Yep.
That was a great hunt to be on.
40 years he waited for a permit, and he shot a Boone and Crockett.
That's a long ass film too, right? And it was awesome. I loved watching.
Yeah, it was 50 something minutes, 52 minutes.
And you probably cut out so much.
I had 5 hours of footage I cut out, and like people were like, "That's long." I'm like, "Dude, that's short." There's a lot of stuff I wanted to include. We came across a bunch of bear sign, and he was explaining like how the bears will reach up into the spruce trees and snap the branch higher and higher to prove how big they are.
Oh, that's cool.
I cut all that out.
Oh, damn.
You know, just you got to like sacrifice stuff.
Do you have that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, you should.
I could do short clips of it.
Yeah, talk with those guys about finding some of those cool nuggets that had to be cut out and putting them out, because that is cool.
Yeah,
I'm sure there was tons of that with Lee. I mean, he's a great woodsman.
Hey, dude, he killed that thing wearing blue jeans. It was so sick. I just love like you don't need all the
Yep.
I'm not shitting on people who buy expensive camo and all that, but like it's just cool when you see the old school heads just like in their flannel they've had for 35 years and just getting it done in Boone and Crockett's.
Yeah. I like how Timmy wears the same Red Sox hat, seems like.
Yeah, all year round.
It's old, worn in, yeah.
Hal hates that thing.
What does he say about it?
Well, you need to be wearing a Big Woods Bucks Outfitters hat. He has them too. I was talking.
He just loves that hat. It's his lucky hat.
We were in the truck the other day, and I got my orange hat's a mossy oak, but it's a Velcro back, and it keeps like if I wear a hoodie underneath, if I'm stand hunting, the Velcro gets caught on the fabric.
Yep.
And he's like, "You should have said something. I got a bunch of Big Woods Bucks hats. I'll give you." He's like, "Hal keeps giving them to me because I won't wear them."
But that's part of Timmy's whole.
Yeah, he's wicked superstitious. He's got his like lucky system.
That's his brand. That's his character. That's his uniform. It's like you take that off him, he ain't the same guy probably.
Yeah, he wouldn't know what to do.
Feel like a different guy. But the Bucks might not recognize him. Yeah, who is that going through? Oh, shit, that was Timmy.
I don't think
I'm dead.
They don't get to recognize him. But it's fun, man. He's
yeah. What have you learned? What's the biggest thing you've learned following Timmy?
The first thing I learned. So the first time we went out was in the White Mountains, and it was still muzzleloader season. They just got some early snow. So this is the end of October, beginning of November, whatever it was. And it was just like what I call a scuzzin', which is just like half an inch.
Yeah.
And it's on potato chip leaves. So in my mind, I'm like, these conditions suck, blah, blah, blah. I'm all pessimistic. And he's in the driver's seat going, "Oh, this is great. We can track on this."
Yeah.
And it was like instantly like, okay, got to change my head.
Yeah.
Can't be like there's snow on the ground. It's possible. It's not plausible, but it's possible. So that's the way he like viewed it, So that was the first thing I learned. And then just the patience he has to like walk by tracks, good tracks, where he was probably like this when he was at the stage I'm at in my tracking career, where like, I'll take that one. The ones that I would undoubtedly take, he walks by.
Yeah.
He's like 180 pounds.
Yeah, he's picky.
Yeah.
He said that on the podcast.
And you have to be to shoot. Unless and there's nothing wrong with following a buck just for it to bring you to other deer. If it's an area you don't know, there's a lot of guys that do that. They'll follow a track, just, I don't know the area, where's the deer? Because that's all that deer is going to bring you to is more deer. So he'll follow one with no intentions of killing it. If he gets close, he might try to get a look at it. It's almost like practice. Like practice trying to sneak up on it in its bed. You're not going to kill it. It's a 6-pointer, 160 pounds or whatever.
Yeah.
Practice.
Yep.
That's
what I've been doing the last 2 days, just practicing. I've got 2 bucks in the bag. I have doe tags. I kind of go out and do some doe hunting, and I'm going to, but I have to work at 9, drop my kid off at daycare around 7:15, 7:30. I got an hour and a half there. It's been nice.
Busy.
Yep, it's been like wet and windy the last 2 days, and those are my favorite days to hunt. And but I didn't want to go shoot a doe and have to deal with that and try to get back before 9 and all that. So I just went out into a sanctuary that's nearby and just creeping around on this ridge where I know there's a signpost rub, there's a big community scrape. I've just been going up there to that area, but going as slow as I can to try to get as close to deer as I can.
Yep.
And that's fun. Yep, just with my phone, camera, trying to get some footage. I wanted to sneak up on a big buck. I've seen 30 deer in the last 2 days, only being there for an hour, hour and a half max each day. 30 deer total, and one was a really nice 6-point buck. I think he was an older one, had a brown, dark antlers, kind of looked like he'd be going downhill, big body, and super high rack. And the rest have been all does. But I got some really good footage of does. But yeah, whenever you can just it's also less stressful when you know you're not gonna. There's no chance of shooting. You're not hunting.
Yeah.
So I feel like when Timmy's doing that, it's no stress. And there's a camera guy following him.
Yeah.
He can get footage if he does. All right, folks, get on to www.heronhill.com and stock up on some wine, both for yourselves and, of course, for your wives and your girlfriends. Get them a case of wine and butter them up a little bit before deer season. Give them something to drink at night while they're waiting for you to get down off your stand. You got deer all around you, and you're up there in the dark waiting for them to go away so you can get down from your stand. They got to be enjoying some wine during that time. So stack up. Get yourself a case. Go to www.heronhill.com. They'll deliver it right to your door. Make sure you use code HS5 for Hunt Suburbia 5. So code HS5 for an additional 5% off all the volume discounts they already got on there. If you get 6 bottles, you get a volume discount. You get 12 bottles, you get a bigger discount. And then you can add on HS5 for an additional 5% off. These guys have been a great supporter of the podcast. Please support them. Get whatever kind of wines you like, but I like the Eclipse Red. They've got a Game Bird Red that goes really good with game birds and pairs well with venison. It's got a little bit of a fruity taste to it. Go on there, get whatever you like. If you've ordered from them before with code HS5, just go on there and use the volume discounts they already got. It's already an incredible deal, and I'll get credited for the order as long as you use HS5 at least once before. So again, thank you everybody for your support. Tell your wives thank you for letting you get up into the stand a little bit extra this year. All right, if you folks are looking for a muzzleloader, you can't go wrong with a Woodman Arms muzzleloader. They're made locally right up here in New Hampshire. They are accurate, dependable, the most accurate and dependable muzzleloader on the market. People from all over the world are buying this gun. It's extremely light. It carries great. You don't have to clean it if you use Blackhorn 209 powder. And it just keeps shooting and cutting holes in the paper like you wouldn't believe. I've went around and shot a couple friends' muzzleloaders. They're Woodmans, and they are plunking them right in there, as Lanny Benoit says. And I haven't received mine yet, but I can't wait to. I'm sure they all shoot exactly the same because the owner there, Mark Woodman, is a machinist and an inventor. And, he has crafted this thing to shoot with precision. Get on to www.woodmanarms.com, check them out, or give Timmy Bolduc a call, 603-608-7218. He knows everything there is to know about those guns and will be happy to take your call and answer it.
Yeah, we had an incident like that this past Saturday, the last day of rifle season. It was new snow, and we went to a couple different spots and couldn't find a good track. And later in the day, we ended up coming across this, small buck track. He's like, let's just follow it. Just at least we're following something. And it wasn't too long. He's like, right there. And it was a little spike horn, but it had its, head down feeding. I got really good footage of it. Snapped its head up, and nice crispy looking footage of it. But yeah, that was cool.
And there's always a chance of a satellite buck being around too.
Yeah, well, there was another set of tracks, but we think it was another small buck. They might have been palled up or whatever, running around together.
What's Timmy's pace like? Before he finds the buck track that he wants, when he's just out looking. You guys
when he's locating. One? Yeah, he's headed
super fast.
I wouldn't consider it super fast, but yeah, he doesn't see with me. He can just do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
You're
just a shadow.
I keep up with him.
Yep.
He's, he has clients and stuff that he has to adjust to, but yeah, it's definitely methodical. He's like, we're going to swing up, we're going to hit this ridge, and then we're going to head up to that ridge, and then we're gonna work back down to the road because
so he's got his plan laid out before he's going out into the woods. Whether he see, if he doesn't see a track, it's like we're gonna check all these places.
Yep, because he's not one of those people that's like, I'm going here for the day. He knows where good bucks are, or where good bucks he's left in the past or seen in the past, and he's gonna swing through the area.
Yeah,
because they're, especially during the rut, if they're not there, they're not there. So he's gonna make a swing, usually hour and a half, 2 hours, and then he's back in the truck, next spot, swing, same thing, and he'll do that right up until
covering ground.
Yeah, right up until closing time, basically. Do that all day,
and then
if he cuts a a big buck track that's 6 hours old at 3 p.m, well, he knows where he's going the next day, somewhere in there. Then he can plan, like, he'll make a day of it there because he knows there's one in there somewhere. So he'll just motor out into that piece and have no intentions on going back to the truck without a buck, or the walk of shame. With your head down.
Is he using...
The first day I went out with him, we did 15 miles.
Yeah.
This is no bullshit.
Yeah.
I think he was testing me.
Probably.
I texted Amy that, actually. I was like, I think he's testing me. At one point, we were, as the crow flies, 5 miles from the truck in the White Mountains.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're that good at tracking, Timmy's really good at tracking. He's just a really good hunter. When you're that good when you're that good at anything, you don't want to have to alter the way that you do anything for the sake of a cameraman.
That's why he's like, dude, will you promise me? Are we going to film this year? I don't want another cameraman. I can't do it.
No, I remember when we were doing that podcast at the Tethered get together at Morris's.
Multiple times he's made me promise that.
Yeah, that's where you guys promised it. I still have that audio somewhere. I got to dig it out.
Most of it.
Yeah,
batteries die or something?
Yeah, batteries died, and a lot of it freaking cut out. Some of the really good stuff. Mark was talking about hunting with Lanny back in the day and filming him and riding around with him. And yeah, there was some good stuff we lost, but I do have some of it. Yeah, but he made you promise that you're going to be there this year, and you guys are going to.
Yep, we did
get another buck on film.
A few days, but
you still got to get one. You got to figure it out.
Yeah, it's this week or tomorrow ends muzzleloader, and I think they got another week in like southern zones or something.
Yeah,
but
maybe
I can't do anything next week. I got to work.
Yeah,
I for sure got to work Monday through Thursday because our driver's out, so I got to drive. So it can't happen any of those days. But
yeah, we got to get you some venison in the freezer.
Yeah, dude, show me a spike horn.
Dude, I got some spikes around.
I got 2 buck tags. I don't care. I'm a meat hunter first.
Yep.
I'd like to say at this point I have 2 does or a doe and a spike or whatever in the freezer, and I can chase bigger ones.
Yep.
But I've been hasn't happened yet. So I'm still a meat hunter. That's why I started hunting. That's why I will continue hunting, is because I wanted my own venison. I didn't want to have to bum it off my uncles and stuff. So that's why I'm,
Yeah. Nobody wants to bum venison.
Yeah. But if you want it, you got to go out and get it. So
you got to get it. I have one spot.
I'm not going to be bummed if a hammer buck comes by and I shoot it.
Right.
I'm still going to eat it.
I'll be the only one bummed if you do that tomorrow. No, I'll be happy for you if you do.
Yeah.
We're going to go tomorrow, I think. I don't think I'm going to be able to go out, but I'll show you all the stuff on Onyx and where to go.
Yeah.
But to paint the picture for people, tomorrow is the first Saturday of gun season in Massachusetts. And
that's right, too.
Yeah, because gun season starts on Monday here. So some guys go out, some guys might take the week off, guys might take a couple days off. But the first Saturday of gun season is like guys are doing drives. You might have a pack of 20 Ecuadorians going through, because there's like Ecuadorians that like to do drives. There's like all these South American dudes around here in the suburbs. They go on giant coordinated drives, and that's how they hunt.
I'll be filming the whole thing.
Oh my god, I don't know if they'll go. So, but this patch of woods is a big one where I want to put you, and that people definitely drive it. And there's going to be so much activity coming in from the other side, but we're going to sneak you into this back corner that I found last year, and that I've hunted a few times this year and seen lots of bucks, a couple mature bucks on my big target 9, but couldn't get a shot off on them in there. But there's a whole bunch of bucks of different age classes in there, man. There's a nice Forky that shows up all the time too.
Perfect.
Yeah,
he sounds delicious.
Yeah, take him out.
I'd kill your up and comers, but there's plenty of deer.
One of them, I don't know if you saw when you pulled in the driveway. One of my up and comers, I think, was killed by coyotes because I found a deadhead. The first time I hunted in there this year, walking out right on the side of this main trail was deadhead. It was just one. I think he was only a 1.5 buck, but he was an 8-pointer, 8 or a 7. Little rack, but Jesus, he had potential if he was only a 1.5 years. Yeah, he was dead. I had videos of him 2 weeks before that, alive, and I don't think anybody was in there bow hunting. This is a really heavily hunted gun area, but there might be 4 or 5 bow hunters in there, maybe more that I haven't seen, but I've walked the whole thing, seen stands, and it's just not heavily bow hunted. So I don't think anybody shot it and injured him, especially over in this, hard to get to patch where I want to put you tomorrow. So I don't know. It could have been coyotes. I had videos of a pack of 4 coyotes going through that same spot where he's liking to feed all the time. So, but
you never know.
It's rare for them to kill anything outside of not a buck. That's at least a 1.5 years.
He might have got hit by a car, clipped by a car, and they're just, they're opportunists.
Yep.
He was wounded, and they're like, we could run that sumbitch down.
Could have been anything. Yep. But then there's also another spot I could put you where I think I had 6 or 7 different spike horns on it. if you really want to spike, dude, this place, and there's 6 or 7. One of them had like a boil on the side of his face. It'd be nice to get him out of the population.
Nuclear buck.
Yeah.
Give that one to Jason. You'll eat it. All right.
Just cut that thing off and fry it.
Where'd you hit him? I shot him in the boil.
Right in the boiler room, dude. No, we'll get you into a spot. And if I do have, so my wife's she's got to work. She's got crazy deadlines and all this stuff going on, stressing out this weekend. So I got to be on baby patrol. But if I put him down for a nap or something, and I get an hour or two, we'll be texting with you tomorrow and coordinating, and I can go in and try to give you a coordinated push too. Just go in from the other side and go through some bedding areas where I know and try to bump something. If you don't have anything down by then, all depends on what you want to do, dude.
Yeah, well, I'm down. Whatever. You tell me.
You're bringing the Woodman, right?
Yep. I'm bringing the Patriot. That's a virgin. It's killed a coyote, but virgin gun and virgin state deer. Never killed a mass deer.
Yeah. Well,
so maybe there is some luck in there. Beginner luck.
There might be. I tell you,
beginner, but
my buddy Chris, that it was kind of like a blind date. I never even met the guy, just on bow sight. And I think how we first met was I had just moved into this area, and hey, anybody live in such and such area? I don't have a pickup truck, but there's a whole bunch of wood that this dude wanted to sell me, and I need a place to put it. Anybody want to lend a hand and give me the bed of their truck for a day? I'll give you half the wood and whatever. Right? I was trying to make a deal with somebody to help move some wood over here. And he reached out and was like, yeah, I can help. And then it was a little bit too late. I already went out and rented a truck for a day to move all the wood. But he wasn't too far from me, and we started talking. And, it's kind of like, new area, kind of like freaking Tinder. You're kind of trying to find hunting buddies. And I was like, yeah, you want to hunt? Let's go hunting. And I met him for the first time at like 4:30 in the morning, talk about, creepy little.
What's up? You want some coffee?
Hey, dude, you're not a murderer, are you? And that day, we both went into this patch of woods that I had scouted, and but he had never been there, and sat 400 yards away or so from each other, and I ended up shooting my first, racked buck with a bow that day with him there. So he gave me a little luck that day, I feel like. And then I brought him to my Vermont camp last year, and he had never killed a Vermont. Yeah. He'd never killed a Vermont deer, so it was his Vermont virgin, deer, and it was a buck. He got a 6-pointer. And nobody had killed a deer from my camp with a bow outside of crossbow. There's been some crossbow kills recently, but nobody killed him with a compound bow there in years, decades probably. So he got a nice one, and I think it was the heaviest compound bow buck ever shot in my deer camp, and that was his first time.
You're-
He was literally in the woods for an hour.
You're some like new deer guy, like good juju. Or
Yeah,
something.
like juju on a whatever you need to break your virginity on. I can help you out, bro. Well, not everything, but
On the next podcast.
talk about. No, I can't even say it. I was gonna say what we were talking about earlier. If you've never done this, I could probably hook you
Reach out.
up. So yeah, some good luck. Hopefully,
Yeah, let's see what happens.
we'll see.
Hopefully we get a little bit of like, I don't know if it's supposed to freeze here tonight, right?
I haven't even looked at the weather. We should do that.
I think it's supposed to be, I think I looked and it was going to be like mid-20s or something.
Oh, that's good. Oh yeah,
Which isn't super cold, but it could make for some crunchiness. But
yeah. It's gonna be 24 in the morning at 7. Tomorrow morning looks really good. The coldest it's been in like a week. So, and a west wind. It's gonna be a southwest wind by 7. All right, not the best for this spot that I want to put
Fair
you,
to
but
Midland?
it'll be fine. Yeah.
I
It'll
got
be
the
fine.
gun anyway, so.
Right. You only need to fool their nose up to like 100 yards.
Right, especially with that thing.
Yeah. So what? When did you start tracking? It's not like Timmy got you into tracking, right?
Nope.
You'd been a tracker for a while.
Yeah, I would say 16.
What got you into it? Were you listening to Hal or reading books?
No,
or
I
what
knew
happened?
I knew the Benoits. I think everybody,
Yep.
especially from Vermont. This is only my 11th season deer hunting.
Yep. How old are you again?
33.
Yep.
But I was always into it, and like my uncle's hunt. My uncle Danny actually just shot a nice 11 point. But I watched the Benoit videos when I was younger. I guess I thought deer hunting was like you walked out. Even though I was watching those videos, I guess I was just too young to put 2 and 2 together. But you walked out in the woods and you sat and you sat and you sat, and like I skateboarded, I raced dirt bikes. Like my life was built off instant gratification. And I was just like, deer hunting? Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's doesn't sound like any fun. But like I always liked deer, and when I was a kid I used to like go up, in the backwoods, and I'd see deer tracks and whatever. But yeah, it was my buddy Rod and Tyler. I went out with those guys, and Tyler actually shot I think it was like a 7 point. It was like a Green Mountain National Forest, 140 pounder.
Yep.
And I was like, this is cool. That was the 2015 season. So 16, I went out and tried it and just was like squirrely ass rookie. Like behind, there's fresh bark on the snow from a rub. And I'm like second guessing myself on how far away they are and all this. And it's just funny looking back. Like,
Yeah.
what I know now. And then 17, I don't think we had good snow that year, or I didn't get out a lot. And then 18, I shot my first buck tracking in the Northeast Kingdom, and it was a 5 point. I think it was a 2-year-old, weighed 163 pounds.
That's great.
And then the following year, I met Timmy. We filmed that hunt, and then we were hunting in the White Mountains. And I wasn't I was looking for a track, and somebody else that was tracking jumped this buck, and it came running like right up to me. Had no idea it was there. It stopped, not broadside, but it was quartering to me. So I had a 30-30. I just put it on its front shoulder and touched it off, and I got a couple more shots off after it. And thinking to myself, like, dead buck, hit it perfect, which I did. I hit it right where I was aiming. Well, it hit the shoulder and deflected, came out of the shoulder and went into the lower belly. Like that 30-30 didn't have enough ass to push to its front shoulder at like 50 yards.
Yeah.
And it was a 170 grain Corlock bullet. And I got Timmy's cousin. I got a bunch of eyes that can attest to this too. This is not a made up story. That 30-30 wouldn't go through that shoulder. And so I tracked it the rest of that day, completely deflated when I got back to the truck. Like,
What was it for a buck?
it was another 5 point.
Yeah.
It only weighed up. That was the last day or the second to last day of rifle season in New Hampshire. So it'd be like,
Oh, so you know what it weighed, so I know where the story's going.
yeah, yeah. So it was 142. So got back to the truck. I'm like a popsicle, dude. Been through hell, like trying to run this thing down. And next day I went out, started finding its beds. They were still frozen, and then I came to a bed and it had warm blood in it. I'm like, okay, it's another dead calm day. Do I try and creep on this thing that knows it's being followed? Because I jumped him out of that last bed that had the warm blood in it. Or do I just run him down? So I clicked on the GoPro and I just literally ran. And we came down to this river. And I was looking both ways up and down the river, and I saw him. He was trying to cross it, but his leg was bum. So I remember him like putting his paw out, trying to like break ice to get across it, and I just dropped him.
That's awesome. Did you have that on your page?
Yep. It's called like episode something buck down. There's a picture of me with it. It's just a little 5-point, but
no, but it's an awesome story, especially like having to make a decision like that and going for it. Like when I was tracking that 8-pointer there, the Euro mount this year, and I shot him, bad shot, and it was a 27-hour recovery. But that day when I caught up to him and jumped him out of his bed, and he was kind of slowly walking away, I was talking to a bunch of different people. What should I do? Should I back out? Should I go after him? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you just like drive yourself. Like, what's the answer?
Yep, and there is no real answer. You just have to make one and go with it. And Jake Bennett was telling me, he goes, yeah, there's 2 ways to do it. You can back out, you can wait, but, you don't know what happened to that. You don't know where you hit it exactly. If a buck goes and beds down for too long and it's not a great shot, he can regain his strength, and then you'll never get him again. He can clot up and then regain his strength, but if you push after, you can go after him, try to get an arrow in him. You just got to go. Mm-hmm. You got to get on him and try to get another arrow in him. That was different.
Which is way easier. It was way easier because I was on snow.
Yeah, and you had a gun.
Way easier.
But trying to get close with an arrow, get another arrow in one. So I just, that day, decided not. I just wait. Went back in later. Ended up being fine as I found him the next day. But yeah, those types of decisions can be crazy. But the fact that you made that decision and ran after it. Also, I love running in the woods. I do think, and I think it happened like a lot with trackers. Even in some of the videos, I think I've seen Timmy running a little bit. It's like, I used to think you got to be so quiet and sneaky. But also, if you just I've also thought of this, like, what if you just ran? What if someone's strategy, they're a good runner first, like they train all year, they run, and their strategy is get in the woods, wear a full blaze orange suit so nobody fucking shoots you when you come across the ridge, but wear a full everything blaze orange and just run all day through the woods. You'd see
shots. A lot of deer.
You'd probably see tons of deer, but you'd get shots at. You'd have to. You'd be covering so much ground. You'd probably surprise the hell out of some deer. And you can run, if you're a woodsman, you can run pretty quietly, even going full speed through the woods. You could run pretty quietly. All right, you guys have probably heard me talk about OnX in the past. I use OnX religiously, whether I'm hunting in the big woods or I'm hunting in the suburbs. It's great. I drop waypoints in there where all my cameras are. I can preset some stand locations and put in, this is a good stand location for a southwest wind, or this is a good stand location for an east wind. You can put in the icons to have different colors, so you can color code stuff, which I find super helpful. If I have a spot that I still need to get a camera out, I'll put the shade of my camera icon in there to white, so I know that I got to go and put a camera up in that location. Once it's there, I turn the shade to blue, so I know it's an active camera. I use it a lot. Property boundaries is great. You've got a line distance on there, so you can tell how far away you are from different structures like roads. So you make sure if you're in the suburbs, you're hunting in a legal spot. And then in the big woods, I mean, it's a security blanket for you. It is a GPS. It's a much better GPS than those little handheld things you got to put in your pocket. So you can download maps before you go out into a spot that might not have cell service. So you make sure you always have the map on your phone, whether you've got the cell service or not. It really is just an invaluable tool. And if you guys want to sign up for the first time, we've got a special code. Use code HS20 for Hunt Suburbia 20, and you guys will get 20% off OnX Maps. So go to www.onxmaps.com and use code HS20, and you'll get 20% off your membership. You will not be disappointed. It has helped me kill deer over the last few years since I've been using it. I'm addicted, and it is just another tool in the toolbox, but a necessary one. So get on to onxmaps.com, use code HS20.
So to back up the year before the first buck I shot tracking, I called him Die Hard, and I'll tell you why. So I tracked him to his bed, and I'm pretty rookie at this point, but it was opening weekend. It was Sunday. We got snow Friday night. Yeah, we got snow Friday night. Drove to my buddy's house. Hunted Saturday in a piece of woods. Saw some does, whatever. Sunday, get up, go to a different piece of woods. Find his track like right off the rip, like pretty much 400 yards from the truck. And it looked, where I'm from in southern Vermont, southern New Hampshire, that's a 180, 190 pound deer, big foot. So I followed it. It was like high teens that day with a good wind. And he crossed this little creek. Well, first I came to his first bed. He was feeding and had walking tracks leaving it. Good. Didn't jump him. He crossed this little stream creek thing. And the track on the other side was still, like, it wasn't froze. It was still wet. And I remember, like, standing there and, like, my heart started racing, like, he's right here. Well, that bed before, he went up on this little knob. So the tracks after that creek where it's going up on another little knob, I'm like, he's right there. So
because you just recognize, like, I saw where he liked to bed before. This is a similar spot.
This is all listening to, like, stuff Big Woods is putting out. Like, feeling the tracks often, like, checking their freshness, all that. So, kind of looking back, it was kind of silly to follow his track right up there. I should have tried to swing a little bit. But Anyway, I jumped him. He goes tearing across the woods, and I just took a running shot, and I touched it off. And he disappeared over the hill, and he was, like, hobbling. I'm like, oh my God, I killed him. Well, I hit him in the back leg at the knee joint, his kneecap, for lack of a better term. Blew that up all apart. He had like a swirly leg. Yeah. You could see where he's walking, his leg would swirl. It was just all blown to shit.
Helicopter leg.
Yeah. And so literally same thing. Like, I got a hold of my buddies, like, I hit one, not good, broke his leg, and we met up, and those guys followed me, and, like, for miles. And eventually we got to a point, like, he was crawling on this thick shit, trying to lose us. I saw him, like, way off in the distance. I saw him jump. My buddy goes, dude, run after him. So I took off and eventually ran him down, and he was bedded down. He was looking back, and his eyes were just, like, gray. He'd lost so much blood.
Yeah.
If he had a white towel, he'd have been waving it.
Yeah.
So I shot him, finished him off. So fast forward to the next year, that buck, I ended up calling him the sequel because it was the same kind of deal. Like, I hit him in the, more or less, the leg and had to run him down.
Yep.
So this year I hope to not run down a deer, but...
So you've got those two tracking, those are your two tracking bucks?
Yeah, I don't know if you call the New Hampshire one tracking, because...
Well, that was another thing I wanted to say. Like,
it's...
Tracking can get you into those scenarios, too, right, where it's just getting you into action. It's the only thing where 100% there's deer in front of you.
Yep.
Right? So,
or you're going to find deer. You don't know if a deer is going to come by your stand.
Yeah.
But you're going to come across a deer track.
Yeah.
Not guaranteed, but something.
Yep. And Lanny was talking about sometimes following a track, and then you just have one that's crossing in front of you perfectly. That's not the one you were following, but a satellite just kind of happened to get into your orbit there, and that's what happened with you there.
That's why those guys will take old tracks. Yep. If they're not finding anything and it's 11 o'clock and they see an old track of a smaller buck, they'll just follow it. Mm-hmm. Bring you to deer.
Yep.
It's a good strategy. I always Hal's talked about this a few times. And I think he does it in areas that he knows, but he'll see a bed or a buck that's he thinks is going up to bed, on a knob, and he'll circle the knob all the way back to his tracks. If he doesn't cut the buck's track,
he knows he's up there.
So he'll go 180 degrees because the buck's going to be watching his back track, and he'll just come up on it, shoot him in its bed, watching his back track from the back. I've always been looking for that. I haven't been able to find it yet,
so that you can do it.
That sounds like, and
when you break it down, that's really that's genius.
Yeah,
but it's simple.
It's very simple.
It's like he's up there.
Yep.
So do the whole perimeter
if the wind will allow it.
Guys will do that with trucks too. If you got a 1 square mile patch of woods in Maine or something with logging roads going all around it, they'll make sure it's not coming out the other side. Hal's always doing that too. It's the same thing, just a microcosm when you're out in the woods.
Yep. Yeah, I always thought that'd be really cool to
be able to
that's the ultimate beat him at his game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You shoot him in their bed looking the other way
after doing that whole
I think that's I won that one.
That's the epitome.
I didn't get lucky.
Pinnacle. Yeah.
You know, I won that one.
Yeah, I really do have to. It's so tough when you start having kids, and it's hard to get away. So I've been hunting so close to home here. You know, we're hunting in Mass, and I've been going to Vermont less. But I do have to. I just have to do some tracking. I don't know if it's going to happen this year. If it doesn't happen,
just
got to
go to the Berkshires with your bow.
Yeah, but I don't have a doe tag out there.
That's true.
Go to Berkshires with my bow and track squirrels or something.
Yeah.
Whatever season it is.
Hey, if you could do that, man.
Oh, I was talking about, like, Timmy's probably the perfect, somebody on the Big Woods team who's also a good bow hunter. You got Timmy, you got Jeff Paradis.
Rick Labby,
all those guys that also are great with a bow. That's a challenge to try to, like, one of them should do that.
I know. It's
so hard to, like, drop that gun and do it. But
I thought about how you would do it, and, like, I guess you would walk.
Shoot him in his bed. You have to.
You would just about getting through the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you'd just walk with all your arrows in your quiver.
Yeah.
And then when you saw that he's feeding, that's when you knock an arrow.
Yep.
And you just got to deal with
see him in the bed. And, yep.
You got to deal with getting that thing through the frickin' spruces, and I know. I just think it'd be a headache.
But how epic would that be?
Oh man,
it would be the best thing ever filmed. It would be,
you couldn't be picky. You couldn't be picky.
No,
just whatever. If it has antlers.
That's the thing. You could start if you shot a spike that way, it would still be the most viewed thing they ever put out. Probably tracking with a bow.
I've done it. I've been on like doe tracks and stuff.
Yeah. I've walked around, but it's like, yeah, doing it with a cameraman. I mean, like, so it's all really well filmed would just be epic.
You'd have to get it'd have to be a windy day.
Oh yeah,
because you got to get on them.
Yeah,
You
sneak up within 20 yards of the bed and still get a vital shot.
A lot of them have stories that, I could have killed that one with a bow, no problem. Mm-hmm. Didn't even know I was there.
Exactly.
So I guess it is possible. It's not plausible, but
it's just hard to take that jump to say, well, I'm going to leave the gun because what if it's like,
and do you go all in?
275-pound giant, like the biggest of their life. They're going to be pissed they didn't have their gun. If you know what I mean. It's
you got to be willing to just eat that year.
Yeah.
And do you go all in and only bring the bow, or do you I would just wait till a super a killing day, super windy, relatively new snow.
Actually, it's like I would probably just do it in like the Berkshires or something. Right, like those guys like to save their Maine tags and stuff, or kill a nice buck, and then once you've got a great
sacrifice state,
your second challenge could be I'm taking a bow and I'm going to get one, in whatever state it is. Right, I'm going to get one with a bow, tracking. I've got an idea to so I was toying with the idea of writing this long article. I think I'm going to do it. It's just going to be a lot of work. I already put 10 or 15 hours into it already.
Dang.
Yep, like writing the best hunters ever to live in the Northeast, right? I want to do this big thing, and I'm no authority, but I like to do the research and be a historian of the game and stuff. And I was one of the things where I'd go to the various Facebook pages and ask people, who do you think, who in your opinions, who would you put on that list, right? And there's all these debates that would come up. And one of them is, well, I don't think somebody who only tracks or only kills deer in the suburbs with a bow, they can't be on that list. You have to be someone who's well-rounded. You can pick up a bow and kill a giant in the suburbs, or you can pick up a bow and kill a giant in the big woods, or you can track with a rifle in the big woods, or, being well-rounded. So some guys would say that. Whereas, I don't agree with that. I think people who are amazing at tracking and that's all they do, why shouldn't they be on that list if they're consistently doing it every single year, right? But one of my ideas
would be
consistency is if you can just consistently kill a mature buck, no matter what way you're doing it, I think
isn't easy.
Yeah.
No matter what way you're doing it,
right.
So you know what you're doing regardless of your method,
right?
But
that's why I thought if I'm gonna write, I'm gonna write it in 3 different categories: the best trackers, the best bow hunters, and the best all around deer hunters that do, because there are some well rounded dudes that do it a bunch of different ways, right?
Yeah.
But that all brings me to the point where I just feel like it would be cool because so many people were saying things like, oh, I don't think Hal could ever kill one with a bow in the suburbs. Well, Hal's not wired that way, but I'm sure Hal could. And it would be cool. It would be a cool challenge to say, to film a series, right? Where it's Hal has to go with a bow and kill a deer in the suburbs or whatever. Even just go, it doesn't have to be suburbs.
I wish you'd be down with that.
Imagine that series. Man. And then
he wouldn't ever do that, but I wish he would just be like, "Yeah, we'll try it."
Yeah, and you take somebody like John Petrick or somebody who's a great bow hunter down here, and that's what he loves to do. Is
send him
to
Allagash.
Yep, and just like it's like swap, like that old show, like Wife Swap or whatever. It's like hunt swap. You got to prove yourself in this scenario. I think that'd be cool.
That would be cool,
but it'd be tough to pull off.
Hal would never do that, but goddamn, that'd be awesome.
I know it.
We've been in the stand for 20 minutes. I've already ate both my sandwiches.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't have any sandwiches left, so we got to move.
I started a fire.
Hal's got the classic. He's got the classic voice, too.
I'm telling you right now, too, I was in moose camp with him. All those stories you hear about him doing his stretches in his tighty whities, that shit's real. I was first-hand victim.
Yeah.
And he came over in his tighty whities right above my cot and went to turn on a lantern. And
above your what, you said?
I threw my sleeping bag over my head like, get it away, Hal.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, those guys are a blast. I'm going to get up there and hunt. We're going to go up there for that solstice in a couple of years. What is it, solstice?
24.
Comet? Yeah,
no, it's solar eclipse.
Yeah, that I'm definitely going to go up for that. Those guys were talking about that, I think, last year, maybe even 2 years ago.
2 years ago, I think.
Podcast. But I remember thinking, now that would be epic to go up there, and you definitely got to be there. So, all right, well, we're going to do another podcast. Go to yours now.
Yep.
We're right about an hour in, so we'll shut this one off and do the other one. Thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Definitely have you on again. And, well, maybe even tomorrow if you get a deer, and we'll have to,
I'll have to
do an amendment to this.
Live one.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. So, Jason, Alex, again, what is your social handles again?
Instagram, Northeast Hunt Film. YouTube, Northeast Hunt and Film. And Facebook's just my name.
Yep. And I'll put
I'm
all
not
that
on any TikToks or Twitters.
You're not on TalkTech, dude?
No, I'm not talking.
I'll put all those links in the description on the podcast here so you guys can get over there. But cool. Thanks, man.
I appreciate it. See you.
Big bucks I've been dreaming often, every night till I'm in a coffin. Vermont woods to the burbs of Boston, I'm looking for a tree to get lost in. Crisp mornings, little dust in the snow, quality time, just me and my bow. Fall evenings, I know just where to go for some quality times for me and my bow. It's just me and my